Quick read aloud here of the model narrative for Module 1, Greek god Hypnos. Having finished our tour of the Gateway Arch, Percy steered me, Grover, and Annabeth toward the elevator. Because of the two tourists already inside, there wasn't room for him. The park ranger said, "Next car, sir." I had a bad feeling about us being split up. I quickly hopped out of the car to stay with Percy. While my father, Hypnos, wasn't a warrior like some of the others, I did inherit some skills from him that might help Percy if he got into trouble. Putting people to sleep can sometimes come in handy. The only people left on the observation deck were the two of us, a little boy with his parents, the park ranger, and the fat lady holding her chihuahua. The chihuahua jumped down and started ferociously yapping at Percy. White foam like frothy milk on a cappuccino dripped through its bared teeth. "Well, son," the fat lady sighed, "if you insist." The color drained from Percy's face. Did you just call that chihuahua your son?" "Chimera, dear," the fat lady corrected. "Not a chihuahua. It's an easy mistake to make. And I am the mother of monsters, the terrible Echidna." This was seriously bad news. Echidna rolled up her sleeves, revealing scaly green skin. Her eyes were sideways slits like a reptile's, and her smile exposed her fangs. Her dog was getting louder. With each bark, it grew in size. Somewhere in the distance, I heard the little boy scream. This snapped me back into my senses. I had to pull myself together to protect Percy and the innocent tourists. I felt in my pocket for my drawstring bag of sleeping powder. The powder was a combination of dried jasmine, lavender, and valerian root, one of the few tips my father taught me. The texture of the chapped velvet bag brought me some relief. The chimera had the head of a lion with a blood-caked mane, the body and hooves of a giant goat, and a serpent for a tail. Percy was standing about 10 feet from its bloody maw. One move and the monster would take him down. I gasped as a chimera charged at Percy, gnashing its teeth. My sleeping powder wouldn't have much effect at this distance. I needed to get closer to Echidna and the chimera for my plan to work. I reached into the drawstring bag in my pocket and grabbed a handful of the soft powder. I ran as far from the family as I could, and I yelled, "Hey, you! Yes, you giant ugly dog!" In a flash, the chimera turned and ran toward me, teeth gnashing, ready to bite. Percy yelled a warning. "Parker, watch out for the fire!" Right on cue, the chimera opened its mouth, emitting a stench like an overused barbecue pit. The chimera shot a column of flame straight at me. I dove through the explosion. The carpet burst into flames. The heat was so intense it nearly seared off my eyebrows. Where I had been standing a moment before was a ragged hole in the side of the arch, with melted metal steaming around the edges. Great, I thought. We just blowtorched a national monument. I ran away from Percy, yelling, "Come and get me, barbecue breath!" The chimera whipped around again and charged toward me. As it opened its mouth wide to take the final bite that would finish me off, I could see the huge tonsils in the back of its throat. I threw my handful of powder into its mouth, simultaneously calling out, "Father, Hypnos, please help me." I waited for the inevitable searing pain of its massive canine teeth entering my flesh. I heard a howl from Echidna, followed by a huge thud, and Percy mumbling something about his father, but then nothing. The pain I was expecting never came. Instead, I saw the chimera lying on the ground with its mouth wide open. Its foamy tongue was lolling over its teeth, its paws moving as if it were happily chasing demigods in its dream. Besides the chimera, snoring peacefully, I was alone on the platform. Everyone else had disappeared. The emergency exit door was open, so I could only assume the others had managed to escape. But what about Percy? Did he jump into the water hoping his father Poseidon would save him? What I wanted was a nap. What I needed was to find Annabeth and Grover and start the search for Percy.